Hello fellas, how's it going? In today's video we're going to be going over how to focus, a full guide, obviously by me. So before we begin, well done for clicking on a long form educational video where the goal is to pass on lessons in which I wish that I was taught at school. If throughout this video you feel the urge to go on your phone or stop watching, that is probably a sign that you need this video, because we're going to be covering focus. If that means taking a break and coming back to it, please do so. Just finish the damn video, man, please. So in this video we will cover understanding focus, what real focus looks like versus distraction, why it's hard to focus today, your environment, your physical environment as well as your digital environment, mastering your mind, as well as how dopamine impacts attention, as well as intentional consumption. Furthermore, we'll be going into building focus, where we'll be designing an optimal workplace, where deep work principles and methods are applied, as well as attention training. And then we'll be covering sustained focus, where we'll be breaking down long tasks, using techniques, managing thoughts and energy, as well as lifestyle and presence. So, lock in. You'll notice how simple each slide is, because everything else is a distraction. You know, the person that starts going to do their homework or starts working and then sees a fucking fly and then gets distracted, that's not what we want to be like. So, focus you must. So, quickly a little bit about me. I run my own AI business, helping people scale on LinkedIn through founders, coaches, consultants, help them build an online presence, build authority within their niche. Furthermore, I'm a university student studying digital marketing, as well as training in the military as an officer cadet. So, I've been an entrepreneur and content creator for coming up to 2 years now, and my channel is about sharing important lessons and topics of information to the young men of the modern day, help try and share the things that I've learned along the way. So, that's me on LinkedIn. Let's go. Focus is important for me because I believe it to be one of the most important skills in these times, due to most people are just being distracted by chaos and noise. Furthermore, I'm also a bit of a nerd and geek out on these kind of areas to do with self-development growth. Love understanding why about things. So, quickly a little bit about me. I haven't always been this fucking weirdo wearing a hat. Haven't always been this version of me. I've struggled in the past with understanding myself and the world around me, and definitely haven't got it all figured out yet. But I'm still a step further ahead from what I used to be like. So, what is focus? Focus is going from point A to point B without any kind of interference along the way. As we can see here, the green is focus and the red is distraction. Focus is sustained, directed attention on one thing without any distractions. Lack of focus looks like feeling overwhelmed, constantly switching tasks, shallow work, never completing big projects, mental exhaustion. Now, focus is the superpower of the modern day because everybody's constantly being distracted. An environment is the surrounding conditions or context in which something exists, operates, or develops. Let's go. Starting off with your digital environment. How can you focus when you've got this going on? Man, all the time. Ping, 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 ping. Instagram notifications, Snapchat notifications, fucking YouTube notifications, everything. How are you meant to focus in a world of distraction? You can't. It's impossible. So, we're going to have to bring all this ball of chaos into a nice, organised, centre. My first failed business was all about helping people become more screen smart by digital detoxing your environment. So I'll link the document down below for free in the description, just a little PDF describing how you can delete your unused apps, turn off all notifications, only allow emergency contacts, and removing social media that is not being used for productive ways, for example, making money or building relationships, because it's frying your central nervous system, attention span, and dopamine. So here, I was getting about 15 missed calls. Sadly, wasn't from Marco Robbie. It was from my friend trying to organise to go to the gym, because I have all my notifications turned off. He was telling me, fucking answer your calls. What the fuck's going on? Why aren't you answering? But because I'm smart, I use my brain, I focus. Do not allow anything in my digital environment. So, rather, these small annoying things happen for, the fact that my friend couldn't contact me, but I was doing deep work, focusing on the task in hand, which is more important. I did also end up going to the gym with my friends, so it didn't actually matter. Boys, I just come back from the gym, so I'm fucking pumped. Smashing down the fucking coffee. We're pumped up. So, your phone is toxic. It is. It's the worst thing. It's horrible. You need to get rid of it. We need to eliminate it. So, messy bedroom / office equals messy mind. There should be, these should be standard operations by now, but room tidy every day and laundry kept on top of. General life admin needs to be kept on top of, like responding to messages, planning the day ahead, organising meetings, etc. Just have some general life standards that you always live up to. So, around me, right now, my bedroom is spotless. My desk, clear desk policy all the time. Nothing unnecessary on my desk. Everything has intention behind it, no matter what it is. Just have some general life standards, man. Like, literally just keep your own standards to yourself and live up to them. And all the other stuff just becomes so much easier when you're just living up to your own standards. So, focus matters because it is moving the battleship of your life around in a forward, intentional direction rather than, all this chaos around you, not knowing what to look towards. We're going in one direction. Baby, you think you're beautiful. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it. And this is, you have the power to revoke at any moment. Concentrate every minute like a Roman on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. Marcus Aurelius, the book Meditations. Great book. Honestly, give it a read. It's literally Marcus Aurelius' journal, man. You see the thoughts behind him. Great quote. So, if you want to be in a continual state of flow, as much as possible, we need to disrupt all external interruptions and get into this flow state. So, find a quiet space if possible. Use headphones for noise cancellation or specific focused music. And then inform others that you're in a focus zone, one thing at a time. So, normally, I've got my headphones in and I'm putting on some binaural beats. I'm putting on some sort of relaxing Zenful music in order to get into the zone of work. And one thing at a time, rather than all these other small things that need to be done. So, we're going to go into mastering your mind, the why behind distraction. So, dopamine, this is what's controlling everything really. Dopamine is like your brain's feel-good emotion. It's what gets you from doing something rewarding, like scrolling TikTok, winning a game, eating a snack, or getting a DM. It's what you get when all these things happen. You get a little spike of dopamine. So, here's the catch. Modern technology is throwing in dopamine hits at you all day. Little small hits all the time. It's like a fucking crackhead sniffing, just small hits all the time. And your brain is starting to get addicted to these rewards. So when you want to sit down to revise, write, or build something meaningful, your brain is just fried. Don't know what to do now, because your brain is just overstimulated. It's just thinking, okay, How can I just achieve as much dopamine as possible? Let's just go check our phone, and then you go back to scrolling. Or, you go back to fucking, corn. It's not what we want to be doing, lads. So, that is why it's hard to focus, because you've trained your brain to chase very easy dopamine and distraction rather than to sit in silence and to go deep. So, it's like, quick dopamine is like scrolling, snacking, or switching tasks. It's where you're getting like a tiny piece of candy where you feel good for 5 seconds and then you need another. But rather than building something or reading 20 pages or finishing that gym session, that's like cooking a proper meal where it takes a little bit longer, but you feel powerful and you feel proud and you feel full. So the choice is this, what you make every day. Do you want a quick hit now, or do you want something real with lasting pride? Because real men build the ability to wait. They delay. They choose the hard thing on purpose, because the deeper dopamine is where the reward hits that 10 times harder. So every time you scroll short form content, your brain is just getting trained to think in short, shallow bursts. It stops knowing how to go deep, like a squirrel, jumping from branch to branch. But if you feed your mind with long form, meaningful content and information, books, documentaries, deep podcasts, your brain starts becoming calm, focused and sharp. When you can sit there and choose to focus, choose a long reward over a quick hit, choose better content to protect your mind and your environment, you're building a brain that is strong, steady and powerful. And you're not a little boy anymore. You're becoming the man. And the men who sit with the boredom, stay locked in and delay the dopamine, they're the ones that win in every area of their life. So, the most impactful Roman emperors understood that the true power and lasting legacy comes from just sustained commitment to difficulty, often unglamorous work, a willingness to delay gratification, and an unshakable focus on their long-term vision of their empire. So, cultivating focus through your environment and practice. This is the how, where discipline becomes habit. So, optimizing your work environment. You need to design your space to support focus. Lighting, natural, overhead, sharp, harsh. You want to make sure that your lighting is natural, got a little bit of natural light coming in, or an overhead isn't too harsh. The more your brain is alert and in a well-lit space, the more it can focus. Comfort. You need to make sure you're sitting on like a ergonomic chair, nice comfortable environment, your desk, the chair height, the posture. You got to think long term. You're meant to have your monitor eye line, sitting in a nice comfortable chair, because then we can sit down, smash out the fucking work and get rich. And that is what we're aiming for, lads. So, ritual. Anchor your environment and work routine like a pre-work setup. Clear desk, water, intentional lighting, phone away. Repeat it daily. So for me, I get a big jug of coffee. Banging. And then I put my headphones in, get my coffee, headphones, put on the binaural beats, sit down, and then we're locked in. And then my brain knows we're in the zone. Nothing else can distract me. We're in the zone. We're getting to work, baby. So, integrating deep work principles. So this is inspired by Cal Newport. If you haven't read Deep Work, go read it. So deep work is intense, distraction-free effort. This is where the real work progress happens, honestly. No tabs, no notifications, no multitasking. We're just smashing out the fucking work. Deep work is where money is made, because deep blocking is where we block it in your calendar and you treat it like a meeting for your future self. You're stamping it down. You're saying this is what we're doing at this time. There's no distractions. Single tasking, one task, one window, one goal until it's done. No distractions. We're smashing out this fucking work until it's done. And like I said, deep work ritual. So before starting, you close all your apps, breathe, review the task and begin. Even grab a coffee, grab a fucking White Monster if you need. Put your headphones in and we're getting into deep work. No distractions. So, to training your attention, Focus is like a muscle, so you need to train it daily. Meditation, it's not for calm, it's for control. You need to train your mind to return again and again. Start small, 5-10 minutes per day, guided or silent, consistent wins. So, for me personally, I'm not a massive fan of meditation. I give it to you guys because I know it works, but personally, I'm not a massive fan. Rather, my meditation comes from fucking getting in the gym. That's how I kind of process my emotions through my body, but you know, it can work for you. Long form reading, this is how I've trained my focus over the years, is building your brain stamina, you know, books, essays, deep articles, no skimming. I found this to be so effective because you're also learning at the same time, and it's interesting, and you develop a love for reading, which is going to set you ahead of everyone. So make it daily. One focused read a day, or sit down 10 minutes, meditate, paper over a screen, depth over speed. So make sure you're just sitting down reading, taking in what you're learning. I read with a book, or I've got Kindle as well, just whatever you're feeling. And you remove distractions, tiny environment, repeat the daily routine, focus. It's all about removing distractions and minimizing what you need to do rather than adding all these different things. It will be so much more effective by removing things out of your life rather than adding. The result, your environments, your habit, and your mind all start working in synergy with you. Start working with you rather than against you, and distraction fades, discipline sharpens, and then deep focus becomes your norm. This is where it's made. So, how do you actually do a long task for an extended period of time? This is a practical system where everything clicks. So, the mindset shift for a long task is big tasks feel heavy, and that's normal. Like going to the gym, when you're lifting a 100 kg bench, you're going to expect it to be pretty fucking heavy. So, you ease into it, you warm up a little bit, and then you get going. So, acknowledge the resistance. So, you will want to quit. Your brain will maybe say throughout, like, why am I doing this? I want to go do something else. Something else seems a bit more satisfying or interesting at that time. But stick with it, You want to check your phone, but that's your brain avoiding effort. Because as humans, we are genetically hardwired to avoid pain, to run away. Because when we was back thousands of years ago in the bloody Sahara, and we see a lion over there, we're running that direction. We're running away from pain and from hard shit. So it's in your nature to just avoid it. So don't argue with it. Just notice the fact that your brain has said, I want to do something else, and then just stay and sit with it. And, shrink the task. Don't look at the whole 4-hour mountain in front of you. Zoom in a little bit. See what's the next 25-minute step going to be. I've got this little thing here. It's like £5 off Amazon. We set it for 25 minutes. Bang, press go. And then we're locked in. We know what we're doing for the next 25 minutes, and then we get into it. Climb it bit by piece, not rather than, trying to see what I'm going to do for the next 4-hour work block. We're looking only 25 minutes, half an hour in front, and we can work it out and we can go. Pomodoro technique, it's a method that respects your brain's limits. We're not animals. We're still animals. We're not fucking robots. We can't go forever. So, 40, 30, 10, or, do a 25-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute timer, and then take a, 10-minute, 15-minute break, whatever you need. And, focus, no distractions, switching. So, pick what you're going to do for the half an hour, 40 minutes. I tend to like to do like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then do like 15, 20-minute break, because then it's more of a flow. It allows you to get deeper into the flow state. But it's whatever works for you guys. You've got to experiment, have a little bit of a scientific mindset behind it, and you can work out what works for you. Imagine managing internal distractions through the parking lot. So, you're doing deep work, like right now, I'm recording this video, and I might have a thought that comes into my head saying, I don't know, message client or meeting tomorrow. You know, get your post-it notes, write it down, and then put it to the side and say, I'll come back to this. I won't forget it, but I'll come back to it later on. And then you can, you know, at the end of the day, come back to your thoughts and reflect and understand, because then you're not being brought away from what was in the task in hand, you know? So, mindfulness in action. Focus wanders, so then you just gently return to task in hand. No judgment, no shame. It's just, this is how we're training our focus without judging the fact that we thought about something else. We just, no judgment, no shame. Our brain will think about other things, but you know, we crack on. We forget about it. Doesn't matter. We're just back into the zone as quickly as possible. And sustaining energy and momentum. So keep water near you. Have clean, energy, sustained snacks. You know, I've got a water here. I've got coffee there. Sometimes I've got snacks by the side of me. Just keep your brain a little bit more stimulated, if needs be. Chewing gum helps a lot, because then you kind of subconsciously eating, I guess. You're not really thinking about anything else. Movement, so when you go on a break, get some motion. Stretch, walk, shake it out every 2 minutes, resets your brain. That's why I like my standing desk, because I can stand up right now, and then when I go finish this video, have a little shake it off, you know, do the hokey cokey, and then sit down and then crack on with some more work. Standing desks are great. So during your break, get a little bit of motion, you know, stretch it out, do a couple press ups, just keep the body moving. We're not like these stagnant animals that are meant to be just like glued to a desk all day. We're meant to be, you know, get fucking active and plan your session. So before you start, what's the task, the timer, break, you know, plan all this out. Don't leave it to chance, because then if we're not leaving it to chance, there's less likely to slip up and break the flow or get distracted. Finally, lads, we'll smash through these slides. Focus equals training, not talent. So remove distractions, internal and external. Control your dopamine through conscious choices, and build your environment to support deep work. So practice Pomodoro, meditation, long reading, and the ritual. This bottom one is important. The long reading and the ritual, and managing your dopamine. These three are the most important. If you can get a ritual where you do a certain thing after a certain time, so you get habit stacking. I make a coffee every day, guaranteed. I love caffeine, but when I make this big jug of caffeine, I know subconsciously that it's time to get to this desk, put on my headphones, and get to work, because that's what happens when I have a big jug of coffee like this. We're getting into some deep work, because that habit is the habit of making the coffee, planning out what I'm going to do, putting on the headphones, putting in the chewing gum, turning on my phone. These, like, all these habits stack on top of each other, and then bang, I'm into the work, smashing it out. And long reading's great, because it's training your brain to stay focused, but also you're learning at the same time, which is so key. Honestly, so key. So, I didn't start focused. I was scattered, overstimulated, and always switching. But these principles, you know, didn't just help me work better, but they helped me stay calmer, clearer, and more in control. And they've literally changed my life and my mind. So, start small. You don't need to do everything today. Just choose 1 or 2 areas of this guide and practice them daily, and build up the momentum. And then check back after 7 days. You know, you might even start by just re-watching this video back, and then just tidying your desk and tidying your bedroom, and then bang, that's one physical environment ticked off, ready to go. Digital environment, you can download the guide in the description, and remove all distractions. And then when you're going to do some deep work, think about it, plan it out, just write down what you need to get done on a little post-it note. 3 things, one, two, 3. For the first session, you're going to do that. Second session, you're going to do that. Third session, you're going to do that. And then bang. Get your coffee. Get fucking pumped up on caffeine. And then get to work. So, in a world full of distraction, your ability to focus is your superpower. And it's how you're going to stand out and make the most amount of progress, I promise you. Because everyone else in this world is just distracted daily. They've got ping, 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 ping going off in their ear 24/7. I genuinely see it as a sign of low intelligence if I hear a fucking Snapchat notification or an Instagram notification or see your phone just fucking pinging. It's just a sign that you do not use your brain and that you are just being distracted. Because how are you meant to get anything done? You can't prioritise in your life if you've just got all these fucking notifications pinging off at you like a fucking samurai, bruv. You just can't. Okay, so see it as focus is your superpower. Just see it as your superpower above everyone else. That your ability to sit down and focus on one thing at one time without any distractions will put you miles ahead of everybody else. Because you sitting down for 2 hours worth of deep work focus work is better than 8 hours of interrupted, unmanaged work. Trust me. And you can look it up on ChatGPT or some Gemini. Look into deep research, Gemini. What's the statistics for how deep work benefits you compared to shallow work? And you will be blown away, I promise you. So, that is all for today's video. We've fucking smashed through these slides. To be honest with you, I wanted to just get this video out. I've been procrastinating for ages. And yeah, expect to see monthly, maybe even weekly videos from me sharing about self-improvement as well as personal branding. Also, Ben Haley 2 on LinkedIn, where you can see more of the business side of me. But over here, we're just keeping it real. I'll see you in the next one, fellas. Let me know if you want this document, and I'll link it in the description with me Screen Smart Guide, as well as any more of my socials down in the description down below. Peace out, fellas. See you soon.